The morning sun hovered over Ridgewood High like an indifferent god, painting the cracked pavement in gold while shadows stretched long across the courtyard. Students moved in clusters, laughing, whispering, judging. The new girl walked alone. Her name was Aria Vale. Her steps were silent, deliberate, and there was something in her stillness that unsettled people even before she spoke. She wore a plain black hoodie despite the late summer heat, her backpack slung low. Her eyes, an uncanny shade of silver, seemed to see through everything and everyone. Nobody knew much about her. She'd transferred in mid-semester, no parents at the gate, no introductions in class. Just her name on the attendance sheet and a sense that she didn't quite belong to the same world as everyone else. At Ridgewood High, there were unspoken laws. None stricter than the ones laid down by Trent Holloway, the self-proclaimed ruler of the school. Trent was the kind of boy who thought confidence was the same as cruelty. Football captain, adored by teachers for his fake charm, feared by students for his real temper. His rules were simple, his word was law. His crew enforced it. You didn't sit in his courtyard bench, didn't use his locker row, didn't talk to the people he owned, especially Lena, his girlfriend, who looked at everyone with nervous smiles and bruised arms she tried to hide. Aria didn't know the rules. Or maybe she did and didn't care. It started the way trouble always does, small and stupid. At lunch, Aria sat on his bench. It was nothing special, just a cracked piece of metal beneath the sycamore tree, but everyone froze when she did it. You could feel the air shift, the murmurs crawl through the crowd. "Oh no, she's dead," someone whispered. Lena's hand trembled as she tugged Trent's sleeve, but he brushed her off with a smirk. Trent stood, towering and smirking, his blonde hair glinting under the sun. His friends followed behind him like shadows. He approached Aria, his voice dripping with that mocking confidence. "Bullies were like armor." "Hey, new girl," he said, loud enough for everyone to hear. "You must be lost. That's my spot." Aria didn't look up. She kept her gaze on her book, an old, worn novel whose pages fluttered in the breeze. When she finally spoke, her voice was calm, steady. "Did you invent the ground, too?" A ripple of laughter spread through the crowd. The kind that wasn't meant to be laughter, but nervous release. Trent's smirk faded. "What did you just say?" "I said," Aria repeated, turning a page without looking at him, "the ground." "Did you invent it? Or are you just pretending you own it?" The silence was heavier this time. Even the wind seemed to stop moving. Trent's jaw flexed. His friends shifted uncomfortably, waiting for him to make a move. His pride couldn't handle it, being challenged by someone new, someone small, someone not afraid. "You don't get it, freak," he hissed, stepping closer. "There are rules here. You don't sit where you're not allowed. You don't talk to me like that." Aria finally closed her book. Her eyes lifted, meeting his, and in that moment, something in him faltered. Her gaze wasn't defiant, it was ancient. Cold. Like she'd seen things that would break him in half. "There are no rules," she said softly. "Only consequences." Trent blinked. "What the hell is that supposed to mean?" She didn't answer. She just stood and walked past him, her shoulder brushing his as she moved. It was such a small thing, but to Trent it was a declaration of war. He turned, fury rising in his chest, and for the first time, the crowd saw something strange. Fear flickered in his eyes as if, for a split second, he felt watched by something he couldn't name. That night, whispers spread. Some swore they saw Aria walking behind the school after dark, near the old forest. Others said they heard growling from the shadows, too deep to be human. The janitor claimed he saw glowing eyes near the fence, low to the ground, watching him before vanishing into the trees. By morning, everyone had a story, and Trent had a plan. He wasn't going to let her disrespect him and walk away. The next day, he waited. The same bench. The same crowd. Only this time, he didn't come alone. His crew was there, armed with cameras and cruelty. "Let's show her what happens when someone breaks my rules," he said, his grin sharp as glass. Aria came, like she always did, quiet, calm, unreadable. She sat again, and that's when the laughter began. "Look at this," Trent called out. "The freak doesn't learn." One of his friends shoved her shoulder. "Didn't you hear the boss? Move." She didn't. Another shoved harder. Her book fell to the ground, its pages bending, and that was when she finally looked up. Something in her eyes shifted. That cold silver turned darker, almost black, swirling like smoke in water. "I told you," she said quietly, "there are consequences." Trent sneered and grabbed her hoodie, yanking her up to her feet. "You think you're scary?" he spat. "You're nothing, just a scared little girl pretending to be tough." Then, he shoved her, she stumbled, hit the ground. The crowd gasped, phones up, recording. 5 seconds later, the air split open with a sound that wasn't human. A deep, primal growl rolled across the courtyard, shaking the air like thunder. The laughter died instantly. Heads turned. From the edge of the woods, something moved, slow, silent, massive. The figure slipped out of the shadows, black as midnight, eyes burning gold. A panther gasps rippled through the students as the creature padded into the open, its muscles rippling beneath its sleek coat. Its eyes locked on Trent. It didn't run, it stalked, deliberate, every step humming with power. Trent stumbled back, his bravado draining away. What the hell is that? Arya stood, brushing dirt off her jeans. Her expression didn't change. She doesn't like people touching me, she said softly. The panther stopped beside her, its shoulder almost level with her chest. It let out a low growl, deep and dangerous. The crowd backed away, some dropping their phones, some whispering prayers. Is that real? Someone muttered. Arya rested a hand on the panther's head. It leaned into her touch like a loyal protector. Her silver eyes glinted as she looked up at Trent, who was frozen, pale. You wanted to see who I am, she said. Now you know. The panther's roar tore through the air, so loud, it echoed off the school walls and sent birds scattering from the trees. Trent fell backward, scrambling to get away. His friends bolted. Nobody laughed now. Nobody spoke. When the echo faded, Arya turned and walked toward the edge of the courtyard, the panther gliding beside her like a shadow that had come alive. And just before she disappeared through the gate, she looked back once, her voice calm but carrying across the stunned silence. Rules don't protect you, she said. They only show who's afraid to break them. Then she was gone and the students stood frozen, hearts pounding. Nobody would ever sit on that bench again, but for those who watched closely, some swore they saw something more, that the panther's eyes weren't just gold. They glowed with something deeper, something human, and as the last whisper faded, one thing became certain: Arya Vale wasn't just a girl. She was something else entirely.